Everybody.
Good evening.
I'd like to welcome you. I'm Marshall Wilson. I'm the Chief Engineer of the Puget Sound Model Railroad Engineers. And on behalf of the staff of the Washington State Museum and the members of the Puget Sound Model Railroad Engineers, I'd like to welcome you all to our unveiling of the depot here, the beautiful station. This is going to be our completion, you might say, of the railroad, because this is the last of the large dioramas that we're putting in. So after all these years, we're going to say after tonight, the railroad is complete. Right at this time, I'd like to introduce you to, representing the History Museum, the Director of Audience Engagement, to say a few words to you, Ms. Mary Michael Stella.
I am not going to take a lot of time because I really want to hear from Marshall and Gail, but I do want to take this opportunity to say that though I've only been with the museum for a year and a half, I've been with this railroad layout since 2001 because I used to come here with my sons and they would make a beeline straight for the trains. It was the reason why we came every single summer when we were here visiting our family and friends. And so the train, this layout, and these fellows who keep this running are the museum's best ambassadors that we have. And I don't have to tell all of you that because you know how much beloved this set is. And I am right there with you. I can tell you that these men and their families give countless hours that they're not compensated for, and we are so grateful for that service and their dedication to this space and keeping these trains running, including getting a call when the trains are down and Steve Carter comes over and fixes whatever ails us and gets us back up and running. And so for that, we're also very, very grateful, and we send you many thanks. But tonight is about Gail Hendrickson. It is about this Union Station, and it is about what Marshall said is the final piece, the crown jewel of this beautiful, beautiful layout which characterizes Tacoma in the 1950s. And I actually had become quite enamored with the facsimile that was there, and to me it was as beautiful and as real as this is tonight until I saw this when it came. Anybody who loves trains, anybody who loves miniatures, or anybody who cannot deny the immense amount of work that has gone into this model and the heart and soul for the past 17 years that it took to make this. It's really just incredible. We want to thank Redmond Barnett, the former director of exhibitions here at the museum, whose brainchild I think this model layout was.
Dave McAndrews' brainchild. I just made it happen.
But you had a big part in that too, Redmond, as did all of these fellows here. So I thank you, my sons thank you, and the rest of the staff. Jennifer Kilner, our director, could not be here tonight. She had some child care concerns and issues that kept her at home, but I do want to accept this and thank you so much on behalf of the museum, Gail. We cannot express our gratitude for you, your effort, and all of the PSMRE engineers that keep us up and running. So thank you so much. I applaud you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the good words. I'd like to say a few words before we get underway here. A little bit about the builder, introduce kind of what we've been doing, and some of the acknowledgments of some of the people that have helped us build this. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about me. I've been involved with this project since 1993, when this building was still an architectural drawing up on the wall of the old museum over on Stadium Way. After determining that building a permanent railroad display was a possibility in their new museum, the then director Dave DeCandry, exhibits director Edmund Barnett, and a few members of the local model railroad community and myself had many long meetings to work out the givens and druthers of what we wanted to achieve and how the best to achieve it. Since I was given the ominous job of designing this layout, I chose to model the Tacoma area due to the fact of the importance of the history of railroading in Washington State. The fact that 4 out of the 5 major railroads that run through Washington either ran through or terminated here in Tacoma, and the connection that this building here has with the Union Station, and both architecturally and historically. So I decided to make Union Station the centerpiece of the railroad, so that visitors could see how it looked when it was an active train station, and how and why it was so important to the city of Tacoma. My original plan was to have just a glass wall running straight down all the way from Point Defiance all the way down here to the MP Roundhouse, and just have the Union Station kind of sliced through with only the back third of it, as if you were looking at a dollhouse from the back. But no, the museum said they would rather have the whole building. So I said, okay, but if we do that, we'll have to take some space from the patron aisle because of the size of the structure and not the short, the concourse side and the tracks. So that is what was designed, and it actually turned out pretty great because of the fact that it accentuated the centerpiece theme and made the size of the building more visible, and it also added lateral strength to the wall. So it was a win-win situation. So major concepts were finalized. We formed a club, and as soon as we could, we started building the exhibit. We doled out all the major structures to the local model railroad community on a first-come, first-served basis. And many of the railroad stations were the first to go. Leicester, Canasket, Puyallup, and the Tacoma, Milwaukee, which is down here. But nobody wanted to build Union Station. Eventually, one fellow said he'd take it, but after realizing the enormity of the project, it languished and very little was done. And then another fellow took over, but again, it sat for a couple of years with no progress. Desperation began to set in among several members of the club as to whether we had really bitten the big one. But one brave member stood up and said, I'll build that station. His name is Gale Hendrickson. Now, he had already completed a beautiful diorama of the old Milwaukee station on 25th Street, which is right down here. And so, just from the beginning of the time we started this project until he took over this project, he had already completed this diorama all the way from here down to there. So, we knew that he was well qualified and would produce a quality product. We all breathed a sigh of relief. That was in 2001. Gale was provided with a full set of original plans and blueprints, and he went to work. It fits and starts, working hard, and then burning out and resting for a time, through summers and winters in his unheated workshop. We routinely called him and said, Gale, how's it coming? And he'd say, I'm working on it. Or, I'm giving it a bit of a rest, depending upon his life circumstances, the weather, or whether he had gotten stuck on a particular problem. More than once he had to scrap apart and try another method because it didn't look right or wasn't good enough for him. Finally, after 17 years, we have a finished product that we're going to unveil in a few moments. But before I do, I want to acknowledge a couple of folks that helped build this magnificent project. First, the folks from Larson Glass. Anybody here from Larson tonight?
I don't know if they made it. I am.
Oh yes, that guy out there. I don't know his name, but
You don't need to know.
who expedited a brand new glass panel from the front wall when one of them disintegrated while being removed to work on just last week. Next, Ken and Mike from Northwest Edge. Did they make it tonight? They were the people who laser cut all of the fencing, all of the handrails that you'll see on the building, and the mullions for the big window in the station. We also had some PSMRE members who helped out with building the project, and they are Pat McDonald, right down here, who built, painted, and detailed all the vehicles that you'll see in the station. Mr. Bob Stumpf, who built the concourse. Gene Swanson, who built the ticket windows, the magazine shop, the information booths inside the station, and laid and ballasted all the tracks and back here in the depot. And Paul Rising, our senior engineer, who built the umbrella sheds, and helped Gail in the final months installing windows and all the figures and the benches in Rotunda. And worked almost daily for the last 2 weeks getting this thing installed and ready for you guys tonight. We'd like to thank you all for your help. Oh, okay. No, I don't, you know, I don't want to leave anybody out. Dale Cross, who built the power station too. All right. I'd like now to introduce to you our president, Mr. Steve Carter, who's going to present Gail to you. Okay, Steve.
From the outset of this endeavor, it was clear that a model Union Station would be a focal point to the design of the layout. Not being there at the time, I can only imagine there were concerns with just how to accomplish this. The model would be large, the design complex. It's no small feat to attempt to replicate an HO scale of Art's creation of the famed architectural firm of Reed and Stem. What was needed was a modeler with excellent building skills, the patience of Joe, and the dedication to see the task through to its completion. As Marshall said, 2 other modelers set their minds to the task before Gail Hendrickson took up the challenge. He began in the year 2001, and it wasn't long before it was clear he was the person for the job. For 17 years he worked on the project, and for nearly that long, we at the PSMRE have fielded the question, when is the Union Station going to get here? Well, we can now answer that question. For a few minutes, it will be officially complete. Before the unveiling, I'm honored to present to Gail, on behalf of the Puget Sound Model Railroad Engineers of the Washington State Historical Society, this plaque acknowledging his dedication, skills, and accomplishments.
Marshall's already doubled up the carpet. What I want to do is say thank you to especially the museum. You put up with me for a Bill Claypool is another one. He's Mr. Vanderbilt. Jimmy and Sheila. Kind of got me kick-started in this thing. And everybody else, you know who you are because Marshall has already mentioned you and for what reasons. What I do have a deal here is Pat McDonald, who did all the figures. I want to thank you because especially that little house that's running around the floor. If anybody can find it. Mike and Ken, I especially wanted to say thank you to them because if you note those big windows and stuff, and then all the windows that go around the building, there's a lot of brass in that. That front entryway is 10,000 brass, but it's 7 layers deep. What do you think? They did an excellent job. Ken on the computer. He was just a computer wizard. and Mike for even taking us on to begin with, because they're used to doing industrial parts instead of just a few model parts. So it's, you know, it's really nice that these guys did that. And most of all, thank you to my
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you very much, Gail. We sure appreciate your help. All right, folks, we're going to have our unveiling at this time. I'd like Mr. Barnett to be able to come over right in front of it so he can be the first one to look. I want to wish every one of you a happy holiday and a safe holiday, and I hope to see you all at the train show for the next 10 days now. Remember, we'll do trains all through the museum, so we hope to see you back here again. And with that, I present you with Union Station. You're right up in there, Dale. Raymond, have a good luck.
Can you see inside there, Redmond?
Yes.
75 folks in there.